Hi, and welcome to this edition of Psychology for Life with me, Dr. Sandi Mann. Psychology for Life looks at how the application of psychology can help us in everyday life. I recently decided to book a light trail. This is one of those lovely winter trails that lots of local places run. This was run by RHS, the Royal Horticultural Society, and they'd opened a new venue near me in a place called Worsley in Salford. So I made the booking, thought it'd be a nice treat for the family. And the night before we were going to go, I decided just to check I had the right time and the right date. Well, I did have the right time and the right date, but the wrong place. I'd managed to book RHS Wisley instead of RHS Worsley. Big difference. Worsley is about 10 minutes away from me, 15 tops. Wisley, about 4 hours. What a mistake I'd made. What am I going to do? Well, I learned a number of things from this mistake, this apparent catastrophe, waste of money. The booking details said no refunds possible. And obviously I realised that I'd made a mistake and it was probably my fault. Although, to be fair, Wisley and Worsley did sound quite similar. Having said that, I learnt three quite important things from this mistake. The first thing I realised that when we talk about applying psychology to life, that our brains will see what we expect to see. I just assumed Worsley. I was looking for the word Worsley, saw Wisley, didn't notice that some of the letters were missing. And not only that, in actual fact, RHS Worsley is actually called RHS Bridgewater. In their wisdom, RHS have obviously decided that Wisley and Worsley might be a little confusing for people, so they've named their place in Worsley. They've actually named it something completely different. But my brain saw what it expected to see, what it wanted to see, and it put the two together, added 2 and 2 and made 5. And we do this in life, don't we? We often think we see things in a certain way, we expect to see things, we make a lot of assumptions. This can lead to biases and assumptions that we make in life because we see what we expect to see instead of actually looking to see what is really there, looking at the evidence in front of our very eyes. So that was my first realisation of psychology for life, these assumptions that our brains take us to. The second assumption, or the second thing that I realised about my mistake, was that I could have resorted to my core beliefs. I could have been really upset about this, and what an idiot I am. This is typical of me. I always make stupid mistakes. Now everything's ruined. I've ruined the outing. I've wasted all this money. What an idiot I am. I could have done that. I'm not going to lie. I did do that at the start. But then I started to be more rational and like, it's not the end of the world. Yes, it's not ideal. It's not great. But this is not evidence of me being completely stupid. There's other evidence that I usually make bookings very well. I usually check things. It was a one-off. Worsley and Wisley are easy mistakes to make. And I stopped beating myself up about it. The third thing that I realised was my first instinct was there's nothing I can do about it. They're not going to refund them. And it says on it, no refunds. I'm just going to have to cut my losses. But then I thought, well, why not try? What have I got to lose? So I rang them up, and to their credit, they gave me a full refund. So full marks, big shout out to RHS Wisley for a full refund. And I learnt that it's worth making an effort. It's worth trying, even when you think there's no hope. Sometimes it's just worth trying. What have you got to lose? So those are 3 very important lessons that I learned from my mistake of being the wrong venue, wrong place, but the right time, right date, but wrong venue. Oh, and by the way, instead we saved because of we got the money back. We went for a lovely trip to the Panto instead, and we had a lovely time. Oh yes, we did.